bring a friend. That's cool. Um, but so I want to talk today about calories, right? Calories is something that caloric intake is really important when it comes down to either losing weight or gaining weight, depending on what you're trying to do. But here's the thing about calories. Most people don't eat enough. That's the problem. When you're on a diet, a lot of times you're not eating enough. And what happens is your body's metabolism slows down. But recently, there's been a surge of people really pushing and saying, it doesn't matter what you eat, it's all about caloric deficit. The problem with this, they make a good point. You need to have a deficit in order to lose weight. So it means that you're taking in less calories than you're expending throughout the day. But the right way to do it is not just to decrease your intake. The right way to do it is to increase your output and also focus on things that are going to drive your caloric expenditure, not just through exercise. There's many different ways to do that. So let's look at output first, right? Exercise is important. But if I just did slow intensity cardio for a long time, I'm just going to burn calories, but it's not really going to do a whole lot to me after the workout. Now, if I want to maximize my burn, I may do like a high intensity training, circuit training type of workout, and now it's going to rev my metabolism up, and now I'm going to burn more calories throughout the day. So it's not just about burning calories, it's about increasing metabolism afterwards. What does that do? That means that I can take in more calories throughout the day. Because working out, it's like I work out so I can eat whatever I want. And I don't mean whatever I want when it comes down to poor quality. I mean whatever I want as far as quantity goes. Because I am never hungry. I get to eat whatever I want because then I go and work out and my body's going to use that for muscle production, for recovery, for rebuilding my system, making myself stronger. So with calories, yes, you need to be in a deficit, but that deficit should be created through output. Because the problem with that is if you create the deficit through input, meaning you're just putting less and less calories into your body, what happens? Your body adjusts. Your body will slow down to basically burn less calories throughout the day to make you survive longer with the current parameters you're providing from your system, meaning the amount of calories you're giving it to survive. Then eventually, you may even lose weight, right? But what happens eventually? You're not going to live like that forever. At some point, you're going to get down to the weight that you want to be, or you made that first 10-pound progress, and you're like, okay, we're good. And then you go back to normal eating. But the problem is, now your body's having less calories available for what it's consuming on its own. So now you go on a higher caloric diet and you're going to put that weight back on and potentially worse, and you're going to add more weight down the road. So that's why whenever I focus on weight loss with people and we're talking about calories, I'm always going to push you to increase expenditure, not necessarily decrease intake. Now with intake, it's talk about quality versus quantity. If you're eating high quality, nutrient dense foods, right? Compare a potato chip with, a kale salad or whatever. The quantity of food that you're going to get from that kale salad is going to be significantly higher than you would get from the potato chip. And I mean strictly quantity, like how much is going to go inside your stomach. But if that kale salad is way less calories, it's going to create satiety from fiber and all the different things, but it's going to fill you up sooner than those potato chips. You may never even get full from those potato chips, and you actually ate maybe 5 to even 10 times more calories than you would with that salad. Go nuts on that salad. Now, I'm also not saying be boring and just have kale salad. You can put good things in there that are going to make it taste better. Maybe throw in some, nuts. I like to do a lot of little fruits and grapes and raisins and different things like that just to change up the flavor, so I like it more. Does it make it a little bit less healthy when it comes down to weight loss? Yes, because we're adding a little bit of sugar and maybe not necessary calories. But if that's going to keep you consistent and allow you to eat that salad more often, that's a win. We should be going for that. Because often when we start these caloric counting things, we're trying to be perfect. Don't do that. If you're going from not paying attention to what you're eating to now trying to have these macros and 40% protein, 30% fat, 30% carbs, whatever it may be, then you're making too much leaps and bounds right out the gate. Can you first just get consistent with eating? Make sure that you're getting plenty of calories throughout the day and getting food into your body before you're hungry. This is really important. So with calories, that's what you guys need to understand, is that we want to make sure that we are increasing output, not necessarily just decreasing input. But you can do both. within safe parameters. Now, there's different formulas out there that exist to count your calories. You can look at it from different standpoints and things like that. So there's one that I forget. It's starts with an M. It's an equation. Look up an equation for basal metabolic rate, and it's a MIFIN metabolic rate equation. And it basically gives you an idea based on your height, based on your weight, what about you're burning throughout the day. Then you factor in your activity level and you multiply the numbers and you basically say, okay, here's my caloric number. Now, that's not a precise number. This is where people go crazy with calorie counting. They think that they got to record every calorie and measure it. They're measuring their food, and this is where I watch these people and I just shake my head. And like, you realize that absorption rates between human beings vary. So you may say, okay, I put this much into my body, but how much of that food is actually getting absorbed? It's inaccurate. Your basal metabolic rate is an estimation. It's inaccurate. So trying to be precise with measuring all these foods is silly. It's unnecessary. Now, I'm not saying don't pay attention to what you eat. Log your foods. Because a lot of times when you look back at the week and you say, wow, I did fantastic, you will see, wow, I really did poorly. Or sometimes you're beating yourself up and going, wow, I did really bad, but now you're looking and you're like, I did fantastic. You celebrate that win. So there's a lot of misconception about calories. Don't be sold on this flexible dieting thing, because I'm arguing with a lot of people on Instagram right now because they're sharing like, oh my God, yes, this, I saw a picture yesterday and it was talking about two pictures. One was toast with avocado. No, one was toast with avocado. One was toast with peanut butter, I think is what it was comparing. It's talking about peanut butter had only 220 calories. The avocado had 400 or something like that. So they were saying eat the peanut butter one because less calories. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're saying people should eat peanut butter over avocados. That's ridiculous. That's silly. Peanut butter has phytoestrogens in it that are going to screw up your body, and you want to make sure that you're not doing that. But you're just looking at calories, you're going to go wrong, because what they're not thinking is they're thinking about right now, within this moment, me eating less calories. It's going to help me lose weight. But what about around the corner? What about blood sugar stabilization? What about people's ability to regulate hormones, your thyroid, your stress response, all these things that are important? What I tell you, the advice that I'll always give you is going to get you results now, but more importantly, maintain them a year from now and not hinder your health with choices that you made today 10 to 20 years down the road. This is what you don't get with flexible dieting. The other thing is these people are mostly in their 20s. They're young. Their bodies don't have hormonal issues. Their bodies are not faced with stress like many of you are. They're single, or they don't have kids like many of you do. They can dedicate 100% of themselves to this thing and follow it. You don't have that environment. So don't try to go with that same plan. Create that subtle change. So guys, that's just the thing about calories. Today is the launch of my book, pre-sale of my book, Death by 1,000 Paper Cuts. And what it has to do with is that my message to the world, I'm trying to scream this from rooftops. We are living an unsustainable way. We're making all sorts of excuses about why we're doing it and how it's working out, but the problem is we are disconnected from our future selves. We're making a ton of small level mistakes throughout the day that may seem insignificant, but compounded over time and compounded together, they are the reason we lose our life. And I mean, we may not actually die, but we will not be thriving. And you might as well die if you're not thriving in this world. If you're just surviving like many of us are, that's a problem. So this book is designed to help people. It's a bunch of about 25, I think it's about 30 different chapters of 30 main things that I've seen people do wrong over a course of my 10-year history in health coaching. And you guys can find it on Publishizer. You can go to, I actually got to put a link into my LinkedIn profile. I have a link in my Instagram. So if you guys go into my bio, you can see a link to the book launch. It hasn't gone live yet today. It will by the end of the day, but you can even subscribe if you see this before it happens. But there's a bunch of perks as well. I'm putting a bunch of perks in there because I will do anything to have this message be heard. So I need this book to be picked up by a publisher. I need this book to be promoted and different things like that. So I'm giving away a ton of different things for people that are buying it pre-sale, and especially people that are buying it in bulk. One of the things that I want to do with people is I want to work with people with teams. I like using health as the thing that holds everything together. So I want to bring a culture of health within your team, and using this book as kind of a guiding principle. We read it together, we go over things, and as leaders, you become the champion of health within your organization. But you go through this transformation with them, and it galvanizes your team, it brings you guys together. But guess what? It doesn't just work as a team builder. It is a performance improver, because we address things like stress, nutrition, digestion, mindset, like all these different things. They're going to make your team members be better. So pick up the book, pick up a few copies if you want, and there's some great things in there like virtual workshops. I have a half-day one that I'm offering, a full-day one that comes free with just purchase of these books. I'm giving away the house because I need this to be launched, so definitely check it out. I'll be doing my lives consistently, more consistently with Tuesday, Thursday now that I have it better set up. We'll see how audio is coming through, but this will be kind of how we go about it. So I'll keep doing different chapters, for the next few months, bringing you different information. I'd love to see you guys tune in and ask questions, because I want to sit here and I want to have a little bit of a discussion. You say, well, Anton, I'm struggling with this. What should I do? Or I'm thinking this is the right thing somebody's telling me. Is that right or not? And I will give you the answer. Guys, just understand I come from science-backed information. I'm not coming from the gimmicks or here's how I did it. I don't coach and here's how I did it mindset. I coach and here's how you need to do it with your lifestyle, within your environment, within your limitation, within your current knowledge, within your current goals. All of that has to be part of it. We can't just go and say, here's a cookie cutter plan that works for everybody and go. So check it out. Check out the book. There's also a link for my calendar if you want to set up a quick consultation, talk about your organization, your individual goals, and see how I can help.